Indian government-owned oil company has begun crude oil production from its flagship deep-sea project in the Krishna-Godavari basin in the Bay of Bengal off the eastern coast of the nation. The development has been hailed by India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi as a remarkable step in India's journey, that is energy journey, towards self-reliance. Here's more.
The 7th of January 2024 marks a historic day in India's quest for energy self-reliance. The nation's Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri announced the first oil production from the complex and difficult deep-water KG-DWN 98/2 block, situated off the coast of the state of Andhra Pradesh in the Bay of Bengal. The minister added that the project will produce 45,000 barrels of crude and over 10 million cubic meters of gas per day, adding 7% each to the current domestic oil and natural gas production.
30 kilometers off the coast of Kakinada in the Krishna-Godavari basin. I am delighted to inform all my fellow countrymen that the first oil has been extracted yesterday. There is work started on this in 2016-17, then there were some delays on account of COVID, but I'm sure that out of the 26 wells there, 4 wells are already operational. We will not only have gas also in a very short period of time, but by May and June, we hope to be able to produce 45,000 barrels per day.
The minister's tweet on the development, which got a quote repost from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who said, "This is a remarkable step in India's energy journey and boosts our mission for an Atmanirbhar Bharat. It will have several benefits for our economy as well." The KG-DWN 98/2 block is part of the state-controlled Oil and Natural Gas Corporation's Cluster 2 project. It has a number of other discoveries at depths ranging from 300 to 3,200 meters, which have been clubbed into 3 clusters in the Godavari River Delta in the Bay of Bengal, 35 kilometers off the Andhra coast. The original plan was to begin oil production from Cluster 2 by November 2021, but it got delayed due to the COVID pandemic. India is the world's 3rd largest crude oil consumer. India imports 85% of its crude oil requirements. India is the 4th largest importer of liquefied natural gas. Domestic natural gas production meets about 50% of India's needs. India wants to raise the share of natural gas in its energy mix to 15% by 2030. Natural gas forms about 6.7% of India's energy mix now. In February 2023, ONGC said it's making headway on several projects worth a collective $7.2 billion USD. The 98/2 project is likely to increase ONGC's total oil and gas production by 11 to 15% respectively. India has been moving towards increasing the share of renewables led by solar energy in its energy mix. But oil and gas, apart from other fossil fuels like coal, still form key components. The latest ONGC project's production will not only increase India's energy self-reliance, but also save precious foreign exchange while reducing its overall imports bill. Gautam Roy's report, DD India.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to the Lakshadweep island seems to have raised the stock of India's smallest union territory among people across the country. It won't be surprising if one sees Lakshadweep as the next tourist hotspot, as it remains one of the most searched words online this week. Watch the special report from Tapas Bhattacharya.
Lakshadweep emerges as a picturesque paradise offering Indians a more affordable and equally enchanting alternative. As travelers set their sights on this untouched gem, the ripple effect on Maldives tourism becomes palpable. Will Lakshadweep steal the spotlight, redirecting the course of Indian travel preference? Let's watch this special report. In 2024, India's scenic Lakshadweep Islands have emerged as hidden gem thanks to a strategic move by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. His recent visit to Lakshadweep Islands showcased not just infrastructure development but also the breathtaking beauty of this untouched paradise. Prime Minister Modi's social media post featuring him snorkeling in crystal clear waters and relaxing on pristine beaches went viral, sparking a surge in Google searches about Lakshadweep. This newfound interest, with over 50,000 searches in a day, signals a potential tourism boon for Lakshadweep. The timing couldn't be more crucial. With Maldives, a once popular destination for Indians, facing diplomatic tensions and growing ties with China, Lakshadweep become a cost-effective alternative.
हमारी कंपनी पूरी होम ग्रोन मेड इन इंडिया कंपनी है और हमने रिसेंटली जो सोशल मीडिया पे चल रहा है, जो हमें बयान सुनने में मिल रहे हैं मालदीव्स के गवर्नमेंट के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव से, उसके तहत हमने डिसाइड किया है कि अब हम आगे से कोई भी मालदीव्स की बुकिंग एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे। हमारे देश में 3 लाख लोग हर साल मालदीव्स जाते थे, अब वो इस माई ट्रिप पे ये फैसिलिटी अवेल नहीं कर पाएंगे।
इंडिया के सबसे ज़्यादा टूरिस्ट मालदीव जाते हैं और कोविड में हम ही ने उनकी इकोनॉमी को वो करा, पर जो मालदीव के मिनिस्टर्स ने हमारे इंडिया के प्राइम मिनिस्टर के खिलाफ और स्टेटमेंट्स दिए हैं, तो हमने अपनी कंपनी स्टिक ट्रैवल्स को कह दिया मालदीव भेजना बंद करो। और इंडियन चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स की तरफ से मैं अपील करता हूँ टूर ऑपरेटर्स को, ट्रैवल एजेंट्स को, वेडिंग प्लानर्स को कि आप मालदीव की जगह इंडिया के जो आइलैंड हैं, जैसे लक्षद्वीप आइलैंड है, अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड्स हैं, यहाँ पर अपने टूरिस्ट को भेजो।
The affordability of Lakshadweep compared to a Maldives is a game changer for budget-conscious Indian travelers. As Lakshadweep gains prominence on travel radar, it is not just a win for tourism, but a strategic move that might impact Maldives' economy, heavily reliant on tourism sector. Prime Minister Modi's call to explore Lakshadweep might just be the catalyst for a shift in Indian travel preference, potentially reshaping the dynamics of the regional tourism market. In the wake of the diplomatic shift, Lakshadweep rises as a cost-effective haven. Prime Minister Modi's endorsement sparks a surge, potentially reshaping the tourism sector. The fact that Lakshadweep is much cheaper than Maldives will give a huge impetus to the cost-sensitive Indian travelers. With camera person Uttam, this is Taposh Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
And taking a tough stance on the derogatory remarks made by 3 Maldivian ministers against Prime Minister Modi, India's External Affairs Ministry summoned the Maldives High Commissioner on Monday. The Maldives government has suspended all 3 ministers for their anti-India rants and has distanced itself from the remarks, saying that they represent personal opinions and do not reflect the views of the Maldivian government. More in this report.
Maldives is facing backlash after its 3 ministers made derogatory remarks against India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who urged countrymen to explore the beauty of Lakshadweep's pristine islands during his recent visit to the archipelago. On Monday, New Delhi summoned Ibrahim Sahib, the Maldives envoy to India, and reprimanded him over the anti-India rants by the Maldivian ministers. Facing heat on social media with the hashtag boycott Maldives, the Maldives government has suspended 3 deputy ministers for disparaging India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Malsha Sharif, Mariam Shiwana and Abdullah Mazoom Majid, who were employed by the archipelago's Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Information and Arts, and they used derogatory languages against Prime Minister Modi. Explore India Islands became the 2nd largest trending hashtag in India on X. Some Indians are sharing screenshots of cancelled bookings for Maldivian holidays. Amidst this fallout, the Maldivian government distanced itself from the controversial remarks made by the key government ministers. In a statement, the ministry said, the government of Maldives is aware of the derogatory remarks on social media platform against foreign leaders and high-ranking individuals. These opinions are personal and do not represent views of the government of Maldives. Former Maldivian President Ibrahim Mohammed Soleh condemned the use of hateful language against India. In a post on X, he said, I condemn the use of hateful language against India by Maldivian government officials on social media. India has always been a good friend to Maldives, and we must not allow such callous remarks to negatively impact the age-old friendship between our 2 countries. Former Maldivian President Mohammed Nasheed and Abdullah Shahid, the former foreign minister, also condemned the remarks. They described the language used by the minister as odious and reaffirmed India as a time-tested friend. Bollywood celebrities also stepped up in support of Prime Minister Modi's initiative to promote tourism in the untouched island of Lakshadweep. Notable figures such as Amitabh Bachchan, Shraddha Kapoor, Varun Dhawan, Salman Khan, Akshay Kumar, Kangana Ranaut, John Abraham and several others endorsed the Visit Lakshadweep movement using the hashtag Explore Indian Islands. Faced with the mounting pressure, the three Maldivian ministers shut down their profile on the social media platform X and retreated from public view. Saeed Afsarul Hassan reporting for DD India.
And still to come on DD India News are big boost to the Indian economy. First advance estimates released by the Indian government show an uptick compared to the previous estimates for the ongoing financial year. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken is on a diplomatic mission to West Asia. He's reached Saudi Arabia after holding talks with the UAE President. And in Bangladesh, incumbent Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has won Sunday's election, and she said India is a great friend of her country.
Sir, try berry pulao. Too good. Good, no? Hey, why are you giving him such looks? Ignore tips and use your own mind before you order. Lots of people give unsolicited stock tips. It can be dangerous. Study the company and the risk associated. Invest only after analysis.
Do you know there's an investor protection fund for investors, IPF, but if your trade isn't executed on the exchange or if it's some guaranteed return scheme, then even IPF will not be able to help you.
And what if your broker becomes a defaulter then?
In that case, IPF can provide you with compensation.
Where did you learn this?
NSE's website.
India that invents. India that innovates. India that excites. India that invites. Land of possibility. Teeming with opportunities. Watch India Ideas each Thursday, 8 p.m. only on DD India. Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, day after day, fresh indications keep emerging of how the Indian economy is estimated to do much better in the current financial year than was expected earlier. In December, it was India's central bank, RBI, which revised its growth forecast to 7% from 6.5% for FY24. Now, the first advance estimates released by the Indian government too have shown an uptick compared to the previous estimate for the ongoing financial year. Take a look.
The first advance estimates released by Indian government shows country's GDP will grow by 7.3% in the current financial year, that is 2023-24, slightly faster than the 7.2% growth in 2022-23. RBI had increased its growth forecast in December to 7% for financial year 24 from an earlier estimate of 6.5% owing to the robust growth in high-frequency indicators. As per the first advance estimates of national income released by National Statistical Office, the manufacturing sector output is estimated to grow to 6.5% in the current fiscal as compared to 1.3% in 2022-23. This sector accounts for around 17% of India's overall GDP. Similarly, mining sector growth is estimated at 8.1% in the current fiscal against 4.1% in 2022-23. Financial services, real estate and professional services are estimated to record a growth of 8.9% this fiscal compared to 7.1% in financial year 23. Agriculture, livestock, forestry and fishing growth, which contributes around 15% to the GDP, is pegged at 1.8% in financial year 24. The mining and quarrying industry, which grew at 4.6% in financial year 23, is seen growing at 8.1% in financial year 24. The construction sector is likely to grow at 10.7% year-on-year from 10% in the current fiscal. Similarly, public administration, defence and other services growth is estimated to grow by 7.7% this fiscal against 7.2% in financial year 23. Growth of trade, hotels, transport, communication and services related to broadcasting industry has been pegged at 6.3% in financial year 24. The growth in gross value added GVA at basic prices is pegged at 6.9% this fiscal. Terming the advance estimates as resilience and strength of the economy, India's finance ministry in a post on X said, and I quote, "The first advance estimates of financial year 24 show no let-up in growth momentum in the economy. Resilience and strength of the economy, underpinned by reforms of last 9 years, have laid the foundations for the economy to sustain a healthy growth rate in the coming years." Foreign portfolio investors continued their buying spree and poured close to $579 million in the Indian equity markets in the first week of January, driven by confidence in the country's robust economic fundamentals. Additionally, they injected $484 million in the debt market during the period under review. Data with depositors showed, according to the data, foreign investors made a net investment of $575 million in Indian equities this month till January 5. This came following a massive investment of around $8 billion in December and $1.08 billion in November. Dheeraj Das reporting for DD India.
US Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Saudi Arabia on Monday to hold talks with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as part of the efforts to prevent the conflict in Gaza from spreading further. Earlier, he met Abu Dhabi's ruler Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan in the United Arab Emirates. This marks Blinken's fourth trip to the region since the conflict initiated with Hamas attacking southern Israel on the 7th of October last year. And like I mentioned, Antony Blinken has also held talks earlier with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan on Monday. It's part of the efforts to prevent the Israel-Hamas conflict from escalating. Blinken is also scheduled to meet with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Al Ula before proceeding to Israel. Now, on Monday, an Israeli airstrike in South Lebanon resulted in the death of the deputy head of a unit within Hezbollah's elite Radwan force. Another Hezbollah fighter was also killed in the airstrike reportedly. The ongoing Israeli strikes against Hezbollah targets in southern Lebanon, which started with Hamas's attack on Israeli territory on the 7th of October, has now led to the death of over 130 Hezbollah fighters. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has said the intensity of the offensive in Gaza signaled his country's determination to destroy the militant group Hamas that rules the enclave and deter other potential Iran-backed adversaries, including Hezbollah in Lebanon. Gallant told the Wall Street Journal, and I quote, "My basic view is that we are fighting an axis, not a single enemy. Iran is building up military power around Israel in order to use it." Now, Taiwan's Ministry of Defense on Monday reported sightings of 3 Chinese balloons flying over the Taiwan Strait, with one crossing the island for the first time. Taiwan has condemned China for endangering aviation safety and waging psychological warfare on the island's people in an attempt to interfere in the upcoming presidential and parliamentary elections scheduled for the 13th of January. Since December last year, Taiwan's defense ministry has reported multiple sightings of Chinese balloons flying over the island and the Taiwan Strait, separating the island from China. International concern over China's deployment of spy balloons intensified in February last year when the United States shot down what it said was a Chinese surveillance balloon. However, Beijing has since said that the balloon was a civilian craft that accidentally drifted astray. The Russia-Ukraine conflict rages on towards the completion of a third year with no peace in sight. A Russian missile attack left 4 people injured in Zaporizhia, while Russian locations also remained on target of the Ukrainian ground and air forces. Here are all the details related to this theatre of conflict.
The Russian and Ukrainian armies have remained in tug-of-war in destroying each other's military targets by waging attacks and offensives in multiple fronts. The Russian Air Defense Forces shot down 2 Ukrainian Su-25 fighter jets and 1 Su-27 fighter jet, intercepted 14 rockets, 6 R-360 Neptune anti-ship cruise missiles and destroyed 38 Ukrainian drones. The Russian Defense Ministry said that the Russian forces repelled multiple attacks from Ukraine in the directions of Kupiansk, Krasny Liman, Donetsk and others, hitting Ukrainian effective forces and equipment. In a recent development, Russian missile attack in Zaporizhia left 4 people wounded on Monday. One of the 5 missiles aimed at the southeastern Ukrainian city hit near a residential building. President of Ukraine said Russia can be brought back within the framework of international law.
I'm confident, and our results demonstrate that even Russia can be brought back within the framework of international law. Its aggression can be defeated.
The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces also reported that in the past 24 hours, 29 battles occurred in the frontline area and the Ukrainian army repelled the Russian offensive in the direction of Kupiansk, Bakhmut and Avdiivka. The Ukrainian Air Force, rocket launchers and artillery units carried out attacks on the concentration areas, command posts and ammunition depots of Russian military personnel and equipment. Bureau Report, DD India.
Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has won Sunday's election with an over 2/3 majority in the nation's parliament. She's become the country's Prime Minister for the 5th time. After her win, she's termed India a great friend. Take a look.
Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has won Sunday's election for the 5th time. It is her 4th consecutive term in office since 2008. In Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina-led Awami League secured a majority in the 12th national election amid main opposition boycott.
Our people give me this opportunity. I am very simple, just a common person. I feel that I am just a common person. I have not that much education or nothing, but one thing, I always feel my responsibility for my people.
Daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, founding father of Bangladesh, who was killed in an army coup in 1975, Hasina first became Prime Minister in 1996. In her past 15 years in power, she has been credited with turning around the economy and the massive garments industry, while winning international praise for sheltering Rohingya Muslims fleeing persecution in neighboring Myanmar. India and Bangladesh share a close and multifaceted relationship marked by historical, cultural and economic ties, which has strengthened more in the recent past. Bangladesh is India's biggest trading partner in South Asia. India is the 2nd biggest trade partner of Bangladesh in Asia. Indian exports to Bangladesh touched above $16 billion. Total India-Bangladesh trade stood at $15.93 billion in financial year 2022-2023. Cooperation in the power and energy sector has become one of the important pillars of India-Bangladesh relations.
India is a great friend of Bangladesh. 1971, they supported us, and also 75, they gave shelter to us, me and my sister and myself, and also other family members. So India, we consider our next door neighbor, and we have many problems, but we solve it through bilaterally. So I really appreciate that with neighbor we have wonderful relationship.
Hasina's ruling party Awami League has won 2/3 of the seats in the general elections. Hasina will serve another 5 years in office after her party won 165 seats in the 300-seat parliament. Hasina won the Gopalganj 3 seat for the 8th time since 1986.
Let's now get you some more international updates. Well, Pakistan's top court on Monday scrapped lifelong disqualification of a person from holding public office, paving the way for former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to run in next month's national elections. The court reserved its judgment at the conclusion of a hearing on the removal of the ban on the 5th of January. The 2018 lifetime bar was the last obstacle for Sharif to contest the elections after his convictions for corruption were overturned last year. In more international updates, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak on Monday denied wanting to scrap the government's controversial Rwanda deportation scheme in 2022. Sunak also said that a legislation related to it would be brought before Parliament in the coming weeks. Hundreds of volunteers sifted through sandy beaches with colanders and shovels in Spain's northwestern Galicia region after millions of plastic pellets washed up on its coast, triggering environmental concerns and a political blame game. There is growing evidence that microplastic pollution is now present in virtually all marine ecosystems, even in remote areas such as the Arctic and the Antarctic. Microplastics have been found in water and sediments of the Antarctic as well. And still to come on DD India News are, Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra has reached Chennai in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu, marking the 50th day of the initiative. A look at the International Purple Fest 2024 in Goa, which is a movement towards inclusion and unity. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to open vibrant Gujarat Global Trade Show on Tuesday.
Sir, try berry pulao. Too good. Good, no? Hey, why are you giving him such looks? Ignore tips and use your own mind before you order. Lots of people give unsolicited stock tips. It can be dangerous. Study the company and the risk associated. Invest only after analysis.
Do you know there's an investor protection fund for investors, IPF, but if your trade isn't executed on the exchange or if it's some guaranteed return scheme, then even IPF will not be able to help you.
And what if your broker becomes a defaulter? Then?
In that case, IPF can provide you with compensation.
Where did you learn this?
NSE's website.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy. And before we go any further, another look at our top stories. Indian government-owned oil company kicks off crude production from its flagship deep-water project of the nation's eastern coast. India's PM calls it a remarkable step in the country's energy journey. New Delhi summons Maldivian envoy over derogatory remarks about India's Prime Minister. Travel agents suspend flight bookings to the Maldives. And historical drama Oppenheimer as well as gothic comedy Poor Things win top honors at the Golden Globes. Barbie gets some consolation trophies. Let's now take you back to our top story, where India has added further to its sources of domestic oil and natural gas production by starting extraction of crude from its flagship deep-sea project in the Krishna-Godavari basin in the Bay of Bengal. Let's understand its significance with our expert guest. Shubham Bhattacharjee, senior journalist, now joins me. Good evening to you, Shubham boy. What do you make of the announcement that Hardeep Puri, the minister concerned, made yesterday, and the way he said how it will augment the kind of domestic oil and natural gas production that India has, which isn't much if you look at India's requirements, but it seems that each drop and each cubic meter really counts.
Yes, each drop and each cubic meter really counts. And this particular well, the KG DWN 98/2 block has been one which has been which has been a very promising one for many years. In fact, it was the first work on it started in around April 2018. And at that time, the expectation was that the first oil will be coming out by March 2020. But as you can see, that it took time. But the point is that the potential of this block was never in doubt. And this is what has finally reached production level. And now, I mean, ONGC can sort of feel that yes, they are in the next, they can move on to the next stage, which is to ensure that the promise of this block would be realized. As you know, this has been one of the costliest projects that ONGC has done. The full field development capex is about 31,000 crore, but the production from here should be massive. I mean, we are expecting something like what should we say? About 23.52 million metric tons of oil and 50 billion cubic meters of gas. Now, that's very big, considering
that will be over the life cycle of the oil field.
And what we will be getting is, if you add it to India's current production level, that means it's almost moving the production tally by more than almost 10%. So that's huge. That's huge by any reckoning.
And you said it took longer than anticipated, and that was largely because of the COVID pandemic, but there were other challenges as well?
Well, you know, this is an offshore field. It is about 35 kilometers off the coast of Andhra Pradesh, and the water depths ranges from 300 meters to 3,200 meters. You know, Bay of Bengal is a very deep sea area. Now, in that sort of a place, when you're trying to do digging, it is really a major effort. For instance, I mean, just to look at it, even what happens is water is pushed into the well, and along with that, you have to ensure that the mud that is used to, that you sort of churn it up, doesn't hydrate, doesn't become hard and block the oil well. So you need a special mud for that also. Now, all of these things have led to escalation of the cost of the project, but that was something that was bound to happen. Even now, I mean, oil from this field is proposed to be transported by about 22-kilometer long dual pipeline, and this will go to the onshore to the coast of Andhra Pradesh, both the oil and the gas lines. And from there, it'll go on to the respective refineries and processing places. So it has been quite something. Reaching here. Yeah.
Now, considering India's oil and gas requirements, India is wanting to shift a lot of its energy mix as well towards renewables and gas, away from oil and other fossil fuels such as coal. So in that larger goal, how does this particular development really move in?
Well, you know, that's a point. But if you look at, say, India's current production, which is about we produce just less than 15% of our total production from domestic sources. And those were also sort of, coming dry.
Yes.
So this one will.
That's in the case of crude oil.
That's in the case of crude oil. So here we are actually sort of supplanting the falling fields, the drying up fields. So it essentially, even to ensure that it stays at the current level, we needed these new fields, and this is where these discoveries are very significant. It has been a difficult exercise, as we just discussed. The project will still need a lot of process to be done, because it's a deep sea project. There's lots that needs to be brought in. One of the things that's happened is good thing with this ONGC project is that a lot of domestic capacity has also got brought in. and that is something which to feel nice about, because that's something that India had been lagging for very long. But for instance, the contract for charter hire and operations of this FPSO project was given to Shapurji Palanji Bhumi Armada. That's a joint venture between Bhumi Armada and Shapurji Palanji Oil and Gas. Then again, L&T Hydrocarbon got into the mix. So there has been a lot that has been developing also in terms of the domestic capacity, which is also something to feel nice about. Yes, sir.
And can we expect more as well in terms of where India's oil and gas exploration is concerned, that in the coming years or in the coming decades will be hitting pay dirt in some other areas as well? Because we also all know that an Indian state oil company has also been prospecting abroad, taking up different exploration oil fields and then looking for oil there and then getting a contract for those too.
Yeah, and the important part is that since India is now the world's third largest user of oil and the fifth largest in terms of gas, what basically this means is that the companies abroad are also keen that the Indian companies, if they want, they should be involved in the exploration processes. So to that extent, this helps ONGC, it helps ONGC Videsh to further, show that they can create a commercial project, and they can, and they can discover it. So there's lots which one should say is a positive spin-off from this. Remember, Bombay High, when it was created, that gave a huge leg up to ONGC's position. This one is actually not a small project; it's a very big find. So this is going to be a very, very significant chapter for ONGC.
In fact, the PM was very succinct in his comments. He said that it's a remarkable step in India's energy journey, and the other thing, he said that it will help the economy in multiple ways or something to that effect. So in what all ways does it help India's economy? There's foreign exchange that's being saved. There's, of course, import substitution happening as well. And what are the other positive spin-offs of this?
Well, one of the things is, as you know, ONGC has also tied up with most of the foreign oil companies, exploration companies, Chevron, then each one of the major, Exxon and everybody, Shell, to develop its capacity. Now, those capacities that ONGC is now developing can therefore be used for other projects. And this project can be sort of ONGC's sort of the mother project, from where ONGC can keep on producing, keep it as its cash cow. And that will be very significant, because it will allow ONGC to diversify into other projects around the Indian basin, to be able to find out fresh sources of gas and oil. So that's significant. As I said, the technology development that has happened in the past few years through ONGC for Indian infrastructure companies, I talked about Shapurji Palanji, I talked about L&T. These companies they have come of age. And the third thing is that the prospects for GAIL and for other refineries is also becoming very significant, because they will be the ones who will be processing these discoveries and sending it on. So our pipeline infrastructure also coming from southern India becomes much more viable, much more practical in terms of the cost structure involved. So there's huge amount of benefits that comes to the economy through this project.
And does it augur well for the private sector as well in this sector of oil and gas?
Yes, certainly. In fact, almost all the companies with which ONGC has done the tie-up in terms of its exploration were all from the private sector. So there definitely is a very big spin-off that's there, and which is why companies there are also taking it very significantly in terms of very impressed with what ONGC can do, and what is the things that they can come in terms of creating a value add in the economy.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot for joining us and talking about it, Shubhamay, this evening. Now, chairperson of the Hungarian Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs, Zsolt Nemeth, held a meeting with Deputy Chairperson of Upper House of India's Parliament, Harivansh Narayan Singh, in the capital New Delhi on Monday. Both the sides engaged in discussions on a range of bilateral matters, emphasizing the importance of increased parliamentary exchanges to foster stronger relations. The leaders also shared perspectives on culture, trade and people-to-people connections, reaffirming their dedication to enhancing bilateral ties. A book focusing on structural reforms and key initiatives undertaken by the Modi government to create a resilient ecosystem for India's future energy requirements was released by India's Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav in the national capital on Monday. The book, titled Modi, Energizing a Green Future, is a collection of chapters edited by Vivek de Broy and written by distinguished decision makers, influential opinion makers and eminent experts, creating a synergy of views supporting India's transition to affordable and sustainable energy that not only reduces emissions but spurs economic growth and promotes sustainable climate investments.
भारत प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में तीनों विषयों में, मिटिगेशन मेजर्स में आपने देखा है हमने रिन्यूएबल की क्षमता को प्राप्त किया, एडेप्टेशन प्रैक्टिसेस में हमारे देश में पीएम प्रणाम से लेकर मिष्टी जैसी योजनाओं को चलाने के काम में, और थर्ड जिसको प्रोफेसर विवेक देवराय कह रहे थे बहुत कठिन है व्यक्तिगत व्यवहार को सुधारना, लेकिन फिर भी मिशन लाइफ में आज हमने पूरा एनवायरनमेंट का एक मूवमेंट बनाया है और इसके साथ भारत में ग्रीन ग्रोथ को बढ़ाने का विषय किया है.
The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra is being undertaken across the country with the aim to inform people about the Government of India's welfare measures by ensuring that their benefits reach the target beneficiaries in a time-bound manner. The Yatra has garnered 110 million participants in 50 days. The Yatra has reached the city of Chennai in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu. The event marks the 50th day of the initiative, where India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal participated as a special guest. During the event, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also engaged with beneficiaries of various central government schemes through a video link. And the Yatra also reached the city of Coimbatore in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu. India's Minister for State for Information and Broadcasting, L. Murugan, took part in the event as a special guest. While addressing the event, the minister emphasized on the Yatra's objective, which is to ensure total penetration of all central government schemes. The event was attended by officials from various government departments. And now we've got a treat for you as we step into the lively atmosphere of the International Purple Fest 2024 in Goa. A special report by DD India's Siddharth Bhardwaj will take you through the captivating moments, the incredible talents and the spirit of inclusivity.
Purple is the color of freedom, strength and courage. Well, I'm here in Goa for International Purple Fest, and this fest provides a great platform for persons with disabilities to come and showcase their prowess. Different subjects, different competitions and different schemes where creativity knows no boundaries.
Today marks the grand opening of a groundbreaking event, a festival that's not just about celebration, but a movement towards inclusion and unity. The International Purple Fest is India's first of its kind inclusive festival.
Purple Fest last year, it was the first initiative done by Goa state government along with the central government. But it has showcased a very intelligent way of helping the people with different disabilities. So this year it has taken a bigger step. It's more bigger, and I have come here to promote organ donation.
The festival has transformed Goa into a vibrant tapestry of colors, sounds and most importantly, diversity. The festival grounds have witnessed an outpouring of positive energy, with people from all walks of life coming together to share in the joy of inclusivity.
We are part of the National Center for Assistive Health Technologies at IIT Madras. We are one of the partners and exhibitors at Purple Fest. We design and develop assistive technologies. We also have an experience center where users can come and experience the potential of assistive technologies at IIT Madras.
As you are aware that various stakeholders are coming here and demonstrating the work they are doing for the empowerment of persons with disabilities. Similarly, Union Bank of India, we are there as a partner, and we are demonstrating the inclusive and accessible banking services that we are showcasing for persons with disabilities.
The crowd is not just here to witness, they are here to be a part of history, to contribute to a movement that aims to redefine societal perceptions.
Well, it's just the beginning of this dynamic festival, and a lot more is yet to come. Remember, this is not just a festival, but a celebration of boundless possibilities. With camera person Shubham Sharma, this is Siddharth Bhardwaj reporting for DD India in Goa.
And on the inaugural day of the International Purple Fest 2024, Secretary Rajesh Agrawal of the Department of Empowerment and Persons with Disabilities, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, attended the event highlighting the remarkable achievements of persons with disabilities across several sectors. From breaking barriers in education to excelling in professional arena, their resilience and talent has been shining brightly, contributing to the diverse tapestry of India's community. Listen in.
Now on the disability sector, in all the items, whether it is diagnostics, whether it is hardware like whether it is tricycles or whether it is rollators or prosthetics, and lot of software also, we are trying to make in India kind of thing, make it very frugal but best in the world. So in this stall we see that Alimco has beautifully modernized its workshops and factories and is coming out with very innovative solid products which are robust, which are very user friendly, and still which are pocket friendly, whether government subsidizes or the young person pays for it. See, that is the beauty of this Purple Fest. Last year we had National Fest here, now it's international. Here you will meet best of the best NGOs in the country, best sort of parents who have taken care of their Divyang children and of other children also, and also a lot of Divyang achievers. So that's why we are requesting a lot of people to come to this Purple Fest. And we are trying to shift the narrative from regular high bechara narrative to that they are just differently abled, and diversity is what the human nature is all about. So that's what we are celebrating and basically sharing best practices.
The vibrant Gujarat Global Trade Show, ever since its inception in 2003, has constantly become larger with the increasing list of exhibitors from across the globe. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating the vibrant Gujarat Global Trade Show on Tuesday. Domestic and international companies will display products and exhibits from e-mobility, startups, MSMEs, blue economy, green energy and smart infrastructure sectors.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating the vibrant Gujarat Global Trade Show on Tuesday, later in the day, and we are joined in by the General Manager of Index B, who is looking after the entire preparations for this global trade show. Sir, we know that the Vibrant Gujarat is happening after a halt because of the COVID pandemic. What's different this time? Because we have seen other global trade shows also earlier for Vibrant Gujarat. What's different in the 10th edition?
Nice to receive you, ma'am. Vibrant Gujarat Global Trade Show is planned with an objective to provide a larger platform to the participants at the summit. Summit has two components. One, the seminars and conferences where the deliberations are held on the various contemporary topics. Along with them, the physical presentations is required to be made and a networking opportunities to be provided where the like-minded people and the people facing same kind of a problem can come together and deliberate upon the issues for the wider solutions.
Can you tell us more on how many countries have put up their pavilions here? What are they showcasing for that matter?
Yes, Japan has been always a partner in the progress to the state of the Gujarat, and Japan is coming up in a big way, setting up the pavilion. They have the largest among the international pavilions, and hall number 1 of the entire venue, which has 13 different halls. The hall number 1 is dedicated to international pavilion, wherein there are 20 countries that are exhibiting over here.
So definitely we see that the excitement is clearly visible, and the testimony is that the entire global trade show is completely booked and there is no space for any other exhibitor to join in. With camera person Shamunat Mishra and Vinod Oja, this is Meghna De for DD India from Ahmedabad.
Let's now get you some more updates from around India. Well, India's National Academy of Broadcasting and Multimedia, the Apex In-House Training Institute of Prasar Bharati, organized a 3-day workshop on environment conservation and countering climate change in Dibrugarh in the northeastern state of Assam. The 3-day workshop will end on the 10th of this month. The Supreme Court of India on Monday struck down the remission granted by the Indian state of Gujarat to 11 convicts who are out of jail in the Bilkis Bano case. The court also directed convicts to report to jail authorities within 2 weeks. India's Minister for Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Purushottam Rupala, as part of the Sagarmala Parikrama Phase 11, visited Odisha on Monday to lay the foundation stone for the fishing harbour upgradation project in the port city of Paradeep. And still to come on DD India News Hour, the Indian women's wheelchair basketball team gears up for the 2024 Asia Oceania Championship starting from the 12th of this month in Bangkok. And Oppenheimer as well as Succession win top honours at the Golden Globes. Barbie gets some consolation trophies.
Sir, try berry pulao. Too good. Good, no? Hey, why are you giving him such looks? Ignore tips and use your own mind before you order. Lots of people give unsolicited stock tips. It can be dangerous. Study the company and the risk associated. Invest only after analysis.
Do you know there's an investor protection fund for investors, IPF, but if your trade isn't executed on the exchange or if it's some guaranteed return scheme, then even IPF will not be able to help you.
And what if your broker becomes a defaulter? Then?
In that case, IPF can provide you with compensation.
Where did you learn this?
NSE's website.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Gautam Roy, and time now to get you some sporting updates. India's Varun Tomar won gold in India's 14th quota for this year's Paris Olympic Games. He won the 10-meter air pistol men's gold at the Asian Olympic qualification event in Jakarta. The 20-year-old shot 239.6 in the finals, edging out compatriot Arjun Singh Chima, who won the silver medal in a close final. And in the women's finals, Isha Singh won the gold in 10-meter air pistol event and secured India's 15th quota. Isha finished first with a score of 243.1. Pakistan's Talat Kishmala won silver medal with 236.3 and took the second quota place on offer. Ethiopian runner Tigist Kitema broke the world record for the fastest marathon debut in Dubai on Sunday, shaving more than a minute off the course record. Clocking a time of 2 hours 16 minutes and 7 seconds, the 25-year-old became the 8th fastest woman in marathon history as she took gold, breaking the Dubai course record by 61 seconds. And in the men's race, Ethiopia also led a clean sweep with Adisu Gobena winning in a time of 2 hours 5 minutes and 1 second. And in a heartening display of determination, the Indian women's wheelchair basketball team is gearing up for the 2024 Asia Oceania Championship to take place from the 12th to the 20th of this month in Bangkok. Overcoming their disabilities, these players turned sweat into pride, aiming to secure a historic spot in the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. And now to the 81st Golden Globe Awards. Oppenheimer, Poor Things and Succession were the big winners. Barbie walked away with some consolation prizes as well. Take a look at what all went down at Hollywood's celebration of the best in TV and films.
The 81st Golden Globe Awards honored the best of television and film on Sunday in California's Beverly Hills. The star-studded ceremony brought celebrities together for the first time after 6 months of strikes by actors and writers in 2023. In television, HBO's Succession won 4 Golden Globes, including Best Drama Series.
This is really heavy. Thank you, Jesse, for casting me in this, and Francine for putting me in front of Jesse. And this show it's changed my life.
Netflix's Beef also made waves, winning Best Limited Series as well as Best Male and Female Performances for Stephen Yeun and Ali Wong. The Bear won the Best Comedy Series, while star Jeremy Allen White won Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Musical or Comedy category. In movies, Oppenheimer swept major categories including Best Motion Picture Drama. Christopher Nolan bagged Best Director for the film, while Cillian Murphy and Robert Downey Jr. won Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor respectively.
I can only accept this on behalf of people. As directors, we bring people together and we try and get them to give us their best. And Robert, Cillian, my partner in crime of 20 years, Matt, wherever you went, and Florence and Emily, just the incredible work of our amazing crew.
Emma Stone was named Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Comedy or Musical for her performance in gothic comedy Poor Things. The honors for 81st Golden Globes was selected by a new group of 300 entertainment journalists from around the world. A move that followed heavy criticism around the voting panel's diversity and ethics. The Hollywood's annual award season will culminate with the Oscars on March 10, 2024. Akriti Bhandari for DD India.
And that's all we have for this edition of DD India News Hour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, as well as Instagram. We'll be back with more news and updates as they break here on DD India. I'm Gautam Roy from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.